Hello and welcome to Budget with Brian, and today we're going to have a look at this fantastic Evolution 18 volt 165mm circular saw. Evolution did send this to me, but one of the things that we've set up with them is a discount code. So I'm going to flash up the discount code that you can use on any of Evolution's tools to get 5% off whenever you like. So you just put Brian in caps there, and that will get you 5% off. So this unit was supplied to us direct from Evolution, and this one has come to us body only, but they have been very generous in sending us a vacuum with a 18 volt battery and a charger with it, so we'll get to use that. But they also sent us a 8 amp hour battery, which probably is a good idea for a saw of this type that probably uses up a lot of energy. But I'm actually going to use it with the 4 amp hour battery, just because it's charged up. Right, okay, so I've taken the box out, I've taken the manual out. It does come with a guide. Lots of them actually don't come with a guide. It also comes with a vacuum adapter for your shop vac, or if you wanted to, the Evolution cordless vac would work fine with that. And then here is the saw itself. Right, so look, we've got to fit the blade. Doesn't come fitted with the blade. Yeah, looks like a nice piece of kit. Let's take a closer look. So here's everything that came in the box. We've got the unit itself. We have a brand new circular saw blade, the dust extractor adapter, and the guide, and of course a manual which I've got upside down. There we go. First things first, let's go ahead and fit that blade. Fitting the blade was really easy. I didn't do it on camera because I wanted to work out how to do it, and I didn't want to fumble around. But yeah, the first thing you do is you take out this Allen key, which is located nicely on the back there. Take that out. You then get that nicely secured on the nut here, or on the Allen key thing there. You then lock it off. There's a locking off button just up here. All fairly standard stuff if you've owned a tool like this before in the past. Lock that off. I undid the nut. I then was able to pull back the guard, slip in the blade. Obviously you match the arrows of the blade to the asrows on the guard and the arrows on the upper guard here. And then again you reassemble, lock it off, and just tighten that up as appropriately. And then of course put the Allen key back where it came from. Very nice two-handed grip. It has a left and a right-handed release button there. It's got a nice click to the on switch. That's and a nice rubber molded over grip. It has a dust extraction chute here, which we saw there's an adapter there for the different sizes of vacuum. It has a nice guard lift that's convenient to be able to, get that lifted up before you make those types of cuts. Which is useful. I think normally people get the blade going and then they move it, but that's down to the skill of the user, and it's not something I have done really. The base is made out of what feels like a kind of metal painted over. It's difficult to tell. It's cold to the touch, but it's got a kind of plasticky finish to it. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what material that is. It probably is aluminium of some description, I would think. Up front, we've got a set of guides here, so we're able to line the blade up with a pencil line or something of that description, so we can make straight cuts with that. And then also there's a rule here which gives us a measurement probably from the cutting blade, and then to be able to see how far over that is for making, you know, super quick cuts in that way. We're also able to make beveled cuts, so we've got an adjustment here. Let's see how that works. So that tightens it up, that loosens it off. Is there a second one? Maybe there's a second one at the back. There is. So that we can crank that over, as you can see, maybe all the way over to 50 degrees. Look on the slide there. But we want that back down to 0. There we go. And then we can lock that off, and then lock it off at the back. Oops, where's the one at the back? And lock it off at the back as well. So that's that adjustment. We've also got an ability to put in our guard rail here and lock that off. There's a nut for that, and yeah, the one at the back we've already discussed. And there must be one for depth as well. Actually, that is the one for depth, isn't it? That's the one for depth. Yeah, sorry, I'm misleading you. That's the one for depth. So, yeah, we've got quite a deep cut available there. So we can just set that straight like that. Yeah. So we can either make shallow cuts or deep cuts. So yeah, pretty intuitive. It's you know, it's a circular saw, and if you've owned one before, I don't think anything on here is going to be a surprise. But as I say, the plastics and the metal cover and so on is you know, equal quality to Makita, Bosch, I would say. Okay, so I think the next thing we should do is try and cut something with it. So I'm just going to test cutting something with the saw now. I'm going to pick the hardest thing to cut and be satisfied with, which is melamine. So we've got a pretty good edge there already, but I'm just going to use the saw just to chop a little bit off the end. I'm using the parallel guide that I've set to a width, and yeah, so let's give it a go. So lining up the parallel guide nicely, getting the saw running. Pretty good. Now look at that edge. What do we think? Is that it's not quite factory finish. Should we try another one but with a bit of tape over it, see if that does anything? I think so. Okay, so not a bad first try. I've now put some masking tape on, and let's do a classic cut with the masking tape to see if we can debunk that myth as well. But yeah, so let's get the Evolution circular saw on that. The blade is hopefully going to go right through the middle of the tape, so a good test. Okay. Well, I have to say, that may even be worse. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the cut. I mean, I don't think that's quite factory cut, but I think the idea that you're supposed to do is do a shallow cut first, and then do a full cut. Maybe we'll try that. Okay, so let's try the shallow cut to score the top first, and then we'll go back and finish the cut with a deeper one. Well, I think we can already see that it's worked on one side, I'd say, very well actually, but on the other it's really it's made it worse actually. So yeah, if anyone's got any top tips about cutting melamine, please do put them below. I'd be interested to see what they are. So you may have seen in one of my other videos, I'll put a link up here, that we've also had a vacuum cleaner supplied to us by Evolution, which is battery powered as well. And between the two, you could see that you could very easily, with the supplied vacuum attachment, that you could use those two together completely cordlessly to be making hopefully dust-free or very much reduced dust cuts with this saw. I don't know if has anybody actually tried to use a vacuum with a cordless like this, and I wonder whether it's really cumbersome or whether that's the way you prefer to do it. But yeah, anything that reduces dust is good in my mind. Probably would like to see this saw actually come with a dust bag, you know, lots of the old Makita ones used to. But yeah, so anyway, just summing up really, that was a very easy set of cuts that I was making with the saw. It's not a tool that I've used a lot of myself, so this is my first actual ever circular saw for myself. Brian himself has obviously used lots of them, but we thought I'd review this one this time. And I have to say I can see myself using it quite a lot for ripping boards down and so on. I'd be very keen to use this with a track, but unfortunately this isn't compatible with the Evolution track. But yeah, I'd be quite keen to try out a track saw because in my workshop I don't have a lovely big workbench, a saw bench like this one. I have to deal with trestles and you know, cutting things down by hand and then using a small circular saw. And again, that would be another really cool tool in the Evolution range if they made a battery powered circular saw. Now at the beginning of the video I may have mentioned that you can get 5% off everything on the Evolution website if you use our code. I'll put that up on the screen. It's Brian in caps, and with that code you can get 5% off everything at Evolution, which is a great deal provided by them. Thanks again for watching Budget with Brian. If you're not already a subscriber, please do hit the subscribe button and ding the bell. We're on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe!